win for the side of Blinn on their map pick of Sunset. Welcome back, everybody, to VALORANT Challengers North America, where Blinn, Gompers, they did exactly what you did. That you said it was going to be. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said it was going to be dominant, and that's what they did.
Oh my gosh, yeah, a 13-3 is a crazy way to end things off. And I think especially, like, for that being your first map's performance, it does psychologically definitely get the hopes up, you know, if you're a Blinn esports fan. So I think moving forward, like, there are going to be a lot of people taking a huge look at Blinn for sure.
Yeah, there was a thing. Remember Dan Dryad when I was like, ooh, maybe the pressure will get to them. Yeah, it didn't get to them. Right. They just ran over them. they literally looked perfect. Like 95% of the game.
It was a clean game. It was an easy game for Blinn with a 13-3, and even on the attacking side, the little bit that we got to see, I mean, for Blinn, it was just a struggling side. This is my favorite highlight, by the way. Do you see Precision going to the ceiling?
Actually,
and it was
like, my people need me type moment. This is crazy.
But it was constantly a Blinn that knew or allowed some space for the other side of Dobros to take, and every single time they were very aware of the space that was given on the map to them get it back and then get these retakes, get the sites over and over again. It was so dominant, Gompers, and like you said, it's a map pick. Yeah, it's a map pick for the side of Blinn, but still a 13-3. I don't know how you recover from that.
Recovery is gonna have to be, honestly, just like resetting the mental. It's a new map, it's a new day, it's a new game. We're going to bind.
It's a new day. It's still the same day, but
it's
I know
still
you
the
mean.
same day.
Literally the same day, but you're spitting.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah, anyways, brain not working. It is new. It is new. And so it scratched whatever happened back in that last game. Obviously, keeping in mind what went wrong within the team for DB, I think a lot of it really does just lay into playing scared. It really did feel like they were terrified of Blinn, which was the main issue. Zachary not going in for early exits, down in the defense, you know, looking for early information. We have two initiators here. Like, we didn't play with that on the defense, and that's why Blinn had such a huge up down in that first half.
Yeah, no, you're right. They were really lacking in trying to take extremity control. They were pretty much giving up B main the entire game, and that was their undoing. Blinn were just freely waltzing around the map, closing the hole of BD left.
It's really not easy for Dobros to win this map and to win the series as well, but they're gonna need to do so, and at least try to do so as we start that second map of Bind. This is a map that I don't know if it benefits them more. It is their map pick. It was a map pick of Sunset for Blinn that we gotta say Blinn is not this, you know, bad or mid-table team. They're pretty good. Their only losses were to Dark Zero and TSM overall in series, and they're positive already for the season. They're just playing this week number 6 to get one extra win, to qualify for playoffs, to get everything else extra that you can get. But Dobros Gompers is in this tough spot where I'm just wondering what they have prepared for this map of Bind.
I'm wondering too, because I feel like we've seen almost everything in the book for Blinn, or my apologies, Dobros, to be honest, and Blinn, to be completely fair. So, I don't know, for Bind, I think it's kind of going to be like that same initial step for Blinn, especially they've played Bind so many times. This is like a heavy pick for this team. They're very accustomed to it. So, coming into this with a team that didn't really play it officially throughout the course of Challengers, has won it once in the past 4 months, or twice in the past 4 months for Dobros. It is a very, very, very dangerous pick. But listen, I'm not gonna say anything. 13-3, the last map. That's a Sunset map. This is a Bind map. I haven't seen the Bind. I'm hopeful.
I remember watching Blinn during the mid-season cup after they had gotten promoted, and they were playing against Turtle Troop on Bind, and it was the third map in the series, and they were up and they beefed so bad at the very end, but they looked really good on the map overall. It was just clear that the pressure that time got to them. Doesn't look like that's the case here at all. They look so confident, so in control. I think they should be able to close this out. And again, they need that 2-0 to make it into the Challengers finals, to attempt to qualify for the Ascension Tournament. So this is everything on the line for them. They need this map win, and they look like they're in prime position to get it.
Yeah, it's one of those teams that throughout the weeks they've been making those improvements, getting better with the synergy that we see in these different maps, these different compositions, and this is the way that Blinn is finding success. But we're gonna see if they can continue the success in the second map, or if it's gonna be maybe a Dobros getting the one. Let's jump into the Zippo Agent Select, see what they're gonna be playing here for Dobros.
Whoa.
And the Sentinel is gonna be a deadlock, which I feel like we haven't seen on Bind at all, even for challenges where we see a lot of crazy things go down. I don't think we've seen a deadlock here just yet. And the head-to-head, once again, that is not an easy one at all, is going to be Okeanos and Zachary on the race. We're going to see what turns out. If it's going to be a Blinn 2-0 or Dobros take this. Casters, take it away.
Not good for the... I don't know, composition, like, looking... I don't know, where was I going with that? Looking at the deadlock...
Yeah, I knew where you were going. You were headed towards the deadlock. You were headed there. I could tell.
I have a love relationship. I'm not going to lie with the deadlock. I think it's been such an interesting addition. Oh yeah, it's great. And for the holds especially, like that was the biggest struggle against Blinn.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about deadlock on Bind just yet. Just generally, I'm a deadlock enjoyer for sure. Now I will say, golfers, we alluded to Dobro's win against the Laser Freaks recently, and they did beat them on Bind with this comp. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. But they did play this comp once, and they won with it. So you know what? They could do this. They picked the map for a reason. Let's see if they can maybe bring this thing over the finish line with the deadlock on everything here. On the line for Blinn, they need this map win to get into the Challengers final. Try to win Ascension, try to make it to Monterey and qualify for partnerships. Let's see if they can close this out.
So interesting, too, though, with this being their pick, but it seems like now starting off on the attack is going to make it quite difficult to use, but no, shots already fired, and Drone, the deadlock pick, has put them on a pedestal on this first round.
That is an interesting little play with the KO. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. The walk down short, like deep flash all the way back towards showers. Kind of crazy. Might need to go back to the strat room and work on that one a little bit more. That was interesting. Respect the effort. Just didn't work out.
They are cooking with every single portion of their body right now for DV. I mean, that's a huge start to the round. Like, just denying the push. Now Blinn understanding they can't get too greedy on this map. So that conditioning there, yeah.
We saw in the last pistol Blinn won a 2v4. Surely they don't do it again.
Enemy remaining.
They're still chilling. Yeah, no.
30 seconds left.
Up to T, but at this point, with plan already coming down and now a 1v3, it's could be under wraps, but man, and the lineups are crazy.
And listen, Teague was insane on map 1. Top frag the server, 21-6 on the breach. But I don't think he'll be winning this one. The setup, a little too good from DB. Pretty much impossible to crack.
Yeah, exposure there. And a DB win. Could be dangerous though for Blinn, right? What was it, like 2-0 they needed to take things home? So I don't know, if this map goes underway, it's not gonna look too good for the side of Blinn Esports. This is like a very dire moment.
For sure. I think it looked like with that play with the pop flash early on, Blinn were hoping a player would maybe be a little bit further back or towards that little box where it would have actually connected, gotten the blind, could swarm that player in a 3 versus 1 type situation, but just totally caught off guard. And now trying to go for a shower sponge, couldn't really tell, or if they were just trying to collect the orb, but they're running around the map getting all those orbs real quick.
Oh, they're done with that. Still waiting.
Grenade!
Did Monse get both the orbs? I think he did. Just playing the round-the-world strategy to try and get their Gecko closer to the ult early on.
Probably the best ult, honestly, in this whole composition. Guaranteed information, guaranteed picks, so yeah, not too surprised that might be what they're loading up with. They do need to find maybe a pick or two. That be their desire, but the B site, just one player on it, and it's Spaz waiting for this team of Dobros to push.
Yeah, Blinn have no info here, really, outside of Monse kind of jiggling shower, but that's not very much. DB have been full contacting, and nice first sap from Zachary. They avoid the gamble stack from Blinn. Get that free plant.
Yeah, they continue to move along.
Spike planted.
On the outskirts of the B side, with Zachary keeping strong here. And if you're Dobros, you know that you're in such a good position right now, especially with this flank coming along from Ange. Listening into how many players might just be there.
Seems like Monse might be ready for it.
Yeah. Oh, not that ready. Yeah, and already behind the back. It's incredible performance from DB already in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, looking really clean, bringing all of these rifles into the next. They've got 3 of them. Zachary just going to keep hunting for more. Get nice and close to that showstopper. Not a single player lost. They're going to have a really good buy onto the next.
They cleared that. But this is where things start to get scary. You know, with Vandals now taking its toll. Kind of bonus round settling in for Dobros. They did full buy because they're like, yeah, we're not losing this one.
Yeah, they just didn't lose any of the rifles. The ghosts were saved, so they have a ton of cash. Yeah, I mean, their bonus round is a full buy. They could get off to a really early lead here, put a lot of pressure on Blinn for the first time in this series.
They could also face a big halt if they don't win this. So, actually, maybe not. They do have pretty rich economy, so there isn't much, yeah, to worry about here. Other than trying to take this round in. The pop flash moving forward, and it's Spaz and Okeanos that take an aggressive route, but they know somebody's there. Oh, they miss out those. Tons of Util just holding his team back now. TP going through from Blinn. And it leaves Zachary with somewhat of an opening, but yeah, Blinn keeping themselves intact. And a nice element of surprise as well.
What an awesome showers crunch. Pretty late into the round. Usually that's an early play that the defensive side will go for if they get a little bit of info towards A, but a little bit of time, and the moment they struck was perfect. Now they just have to capitalize and win this 3 versus 2, or DB will be out to a really strong early lead here.
All they need to do is work as a team. Riku's watching. They've seen the flash come out. They know where they are, and the callouts are there. And shooting just straight through within heaven. It's a retake there from Blinn, which was very much needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done from them. Those faces at the end together. Timings on the swings there, really nice. Fighting both of those individuals together. Dobros obviously with another full buy though after that, because they had not lost a single player on that second round. Zachary is 1 away from that showstopper as well. Got all those kills with the ghost early on. So we'll see if he's going to try to collect one of those orbs, get that activated for a big site exec.
Throwing net.
With Dog trying to make its way up. Tons of Util already kind of settled down. Okeanos so lucky to get themselves out of that situation. But still, pressure being applied on the side of DB. And this is the round they need. Economy slowly getting itself down. But they are being very precautious.
Monse just holding close and hookah with that judge, while the rest of the Blinn players on the B site can focus their attention towards long. DB are going to slow things down, slowly walk their way off of B towards that A site. looking to see when Teague is going to throw out that 0 point, try to gather information for the defensive calling. Try and get the rotate going towards A, but it's not going to happen in time. A lot of these two defenders here from Blade.
Oh, this is huge, though. Oh, no, Showstopper doesn't put itself where I'm assuming Zachary wanted it to be placed. Yeah,
left.
just a complete waste going down, but with 30 seconds, they have enough time to plant the spike. The question is Blinn going to allow them that sort of leeway? So, already attempting to place down some of that util. Losing out on Mo. So many players just surrounding up in heaven, but now the paint shell thrown down towards the back of sight, and the flash. Eliminating half. Not eliminating, flashing half the players there.
Well timed. I mean, look at DB. They're all gathered up towards Lance right now.
Oh, and it's just a wide swing for Mike to close things out for precision. Fight's still commencing. I'm not even sure if Ange has some of the lineups in place, but does it even matter? So many players down within seconds for Blinn, and they haven't had the chance to play that defense down on the last map, but now they finally do, and they're still flawless.
Those post-plant positions for DB were really tough to work with. Ange as well had that wall up, which kind of isolated their own player on the site. Maybe could have won that out if they found a timing to drop the wall, so those players towards lamps could all swing together, baiting off the player on site. The wall stayed up for a little bit too long. Things got awkward. Too many players towards that lamp side. Unable to find any clean fights. Now Blinn taking the game back into their control. A couple strong ultimates already available. Economy completely ruined for DB.
Yeah, they're gonna have to play with what they have here. Or even then, like, Precision pretty close to having their ult for the next round, so could farm the north, or maybe even the plant to come down. But with entry making its way, Okeano's getting ready for the worst case scenario, and that be it. Taken in a 2K and clearing out the crowd is a one and done for Blinn. They don't need to worry too much about this round.
Yeah, they cleaned that one up with ease, but partially because they committed 2 ultimates onto the DB side pushing in, despite already being stacked up towards A. Surprised they went for that massive of an investment. Sure, the Thrash catches 2, but do you really need to use it in that situation? If I'm DB, I'm kind of content. I mean, they only got 1 kill there, but all right,
Yeah.
We don't have any ultimates to deal with, the crucial ultimates to deal with on our buy round. If Blinn had saved it for now, win the buy round, break DB economy again, then they're really running away with the game. So I think that's a pretty big error from them, just overcommitting what they had.
Yeah, DB need... I don't even think it's much of a readjustment. It's just unfortunate with obviously kind of the way things have went. The economy giving away 2 rounds over to Blinn, facing some pretty hard difficulties. And now especially with some sort of load up coming through with the ultimates, Okeanos loading up on that. Like you said, though, the Thrash being used was a bit of a surprise, but...
Orbital strike, too.
Yeah, that was a lot of investment for a sheriff round.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at Drone right now with that Annihilation. I haven't really seen much of Deadlock at all in this map. Curious to see if there's going to be any cheeky lineups coming out. Wow, deep push from the double pop flash from Blinn, though.
Dude, and they're still running it down. Doesn't matter, even with the suppression, they keep their head held high for DB. But the information is there for Blinn. They could just play off it, slowly working themselves to join up in hookah. Oh, but not making their appearance just yet, but of course the shoulder scene and Zachary down. This has to be the round for them to take away from it, but Okeano's ready and trying to get away. This is crazy. They could pop the ult, take...
Oh, I think Monsty's gonna get connect. Oh, no, it just barely missed. This Dizzy is getting mega value. That's 3 times it's been thrown. Riku gets caught.
Toxin screen down.
You're trying to work their way up short now with the space that Anj has garnered. Slow walking, playing off the wall, gonna commit the Seekers now. Both ultimates they had available. They really need to convert this round off the back of it.
Poison's on.
30 seconds left.
They try to use the ultimates here. Okeanos gets cut short. Oh, but even then, knife still out. The plant looking to be made. Nobody swung that. I'm assuming because Teague too far back and waiting for the reload on that suppression to come through. But Monsi just has so much util for the entry, and they still break it down. They could have waited a couple more seconds and used everything that Monsi had, but instead became impatient, now having to rely solely on them. They do still have the wingman and everything else. Mosh pit readily available.
Wingman's on defuse.
And wingman set up, but they don't know what's right behind. Might just be able to find it, but Ange goes for the head instead and doesn't look for the puppet.
Wow, Blinn are beginning to make some silly mistakes here. It's giving we've already won this game, right, guys? I mean, why? There's just no reason for them to be rushing this situation. With Teague dropping down, Mike taking the fight, Monsi's not anywhere near them. If they just play that 3v2 and get the wingman on the spike, they trade that out easily.
Don't worry.
Very odd from Blinn right now, to be honest. They were looking so well drilled on map 1. Now getting ahead of themselves on map 2. Oh, great way to start it off for Okeanos, though, but just re-swings, the angle goes down. They're trying to shower crunch, make up for that. And they do a nice job.
Dude, Monsi just is still working themselves up. They want redemption for the round before that. And they want to make sure that DB knows who's boss, especially with the off pickup. Still watching this, even then with the smoke set up. Recollecting that spike, but the flank from Spaz is what makes this round dangerous. Can they manage to make way? 3 players, what?
1 enemy remaining.
Doesn't matter. It worked out in the end. Gives them player advantage, leaves Ange up to themselves, and the only thing they have left is that poison orb.
And slowing things down. We'll have an opportunity to plant.
Teague is looking. It's like a game of manhunt.
30
like
seconds
they're
left.
just circling each other, but I think Ange has to understand, oh, the timing here is brutal. No, it's not. What is going on? They all just passed. If Ange manages to somehow appear behind this team and head over for A, but no. Yeah, they've made the call. Presence detected. Now pop flash moving forward, and it's a beautiful dual play with the initiators here.
Team Ace.
Crazy performance. There's 4-3. For Blinn, this is, I mean, a huge advancement. I'm just wondering, like, now, especially with the op kind of settling in, how is that going to work out? But especially on the A site, could actually catch out Riku. Some of the players moving up towards B, and the noise being heard could make its way. Suppression caught in contact with the race, so it is going to push them back just a little bit in terms of what Zachary's trying to do. Waiting for the move to be made. That first shot in the hands of Okeanos, and the B site empty. As Monsi's the only one there, but they have to fight this back. And they're confident to do so. Headshots down, and the damage on drone might just be it for Blinn. They hold on tight. I mean, especially now being able to just lock in some of the orbs here. So the pistol there.
Remaining.
Now especially securing something big here from Spaz. Huge shot off Okeanos to end things off. DB not feeling too confident as time goes on a map like Bind. I'm surprised that drone isn't working so well.
Yeah, I
You know,
was
as that sentinel.
hoping to see a little bit more value so far from that deadlock. It just hasn't really come. Blin are starting to take the game over a bit. This is an important round now for Dobros, incredibly important. Look at the state of their economy. They have a couple important ultimates coming into this. See if they can convert, or Blin might start to run away with it if they can capitalize here, win this very important round 9.
Oh. Taking a little break, which might be dire just for the mental of Dobros. And more so for Blin as well. I can imagine how high tension can be right now, especially with the fight coming through from Dobros, which is a completely different dynamic than what we were accustomed to down in that last map.
Yeah, absolutely. Dobros have been doing a decent job so far. Blin have made mistakes, and they've exposed them.
Yeah, just rolling with the punches. Some ults readily available, actually pretty close to gathering more than just 2 as well, so investment for this round has to be made if they want to secure something.
All right, Blin, we're just taking a quick tech pause. Not sure exactly the reason, but all good. We are right back into this one pretty quickly. I want to see where Okeanos is going to set up. And Blin are going to try to win this very crucial round out.
Oh, the shots heard. They could have just kept the silence, but now they know Okeanos has the op. And is going to try to play with it, but nobody's planning to push themselves up just yet, especially with some sort of occupancy being held over towards A and having the ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Tons of info and util expended out here, so they have to make the move. And it doesn't work. Blin managing to find at least one, but regardless, 3v4 situation, and Ange with a huge flank, and nobody knows.
So Zachary trying to play in the tube right now is going to catch Monsi.
Surprised no one's taking extra precautions, but learning their lesson on clearing their corners for the next round. And even this one. Oh, but they're flanking. And regardless, Mike's not going to be able to get in. There's a huge deterrent there.
Mike slowly trying to work short. Is he going to be able to find a timing, though? Drone's watching this.
Oh, but they're ready.
One enemy remaining.
3. Yeah, Drone's still there for the pick, and Zachary prepped up with that paint shell to keep the momentum here going for DB.
Nicely done already. This is continuing to look pretty dangerous for Blin. That was a crucial round. The ultimates weren't really expended, though. Jerome is already 1 away from getting a second annihilation. Wasn't able to get value with the first. It was a whiffed shot. Perhaps can turn his luck around here with the next. Blin's economy is still so strong, so no danger of it getting broken.
Yeah, lacking a lot of, at least a little bit of control for Blin, but it seems like they're trying to take that back with an aggressive play, moving outward towards A. And now with Spaz pulling down that Viper's pit.
Laying off their smoke, placed by Riku, getting up close. A little bit of damage from Monsi. Execute coming in now. Showstopper from Zach.
No vulnerable. Waiting for them to make the play, though. Monsi is spraying it down, and he's still slowed. Managing to get 2 for the team of Blin so they can pick this up. Although how easy is it going to be? Not at all. The confidence is radiating from DB, and they've done so well so far. Now Okeanos does have tons of util to utilize for the entry in. There's 3 players at 3 different entry points and only 2 to watch for what's going on. Eliminating the one, making things easier. And now especially working as a team to eliminate everybody on the side of Blaine. It's Riku that just won't let the game go.
These retakes have been really scrappy from Blinn. The timing from Mike was really off. Neither of the other players that were there, Tigger, Okeanos, are really able to capitalize off, at the very least, the distraction he was making, drawing the focus of the DB players. And that was after a great 0 point was thrown by T when the hit was coming in. You saw that it was able to shut down not only the showstopper, but that satchel as well. Zachary couldn't get in, couldn't make the space. Blinn still have a bye, but things are looking really shaky for them.
Oh. Zachary holds off in time. But DB, they've just been, like, conditioning Blinn into taking these 1v1s left and right. It's kind of surprising, but Toxin's low, screen going down very, very shortly for Mike to take in, but the TP happens. The B side's a go.
Oh, T gets caught. Mike trying to chase.
Dude, and they're still fighting. It doesn't matter. Mike gets caught down by Zachary. This is the duelist we all know and love. And we didn't get to see too much from in the last map, which I'm surprised because Zachary is a phenomenal player, and obviously we can see why.
It took a long time, but the economy is finally going to be broken for Blinn. Monsi forced to save now in this situation, while the rest of the team just left to fend for themselves on the next. Teague is the only one with any amount of cash. Blinn have really thrown away some crucial rounds on this half early on that have allowed Dobros to get back into this, allowed them to, at the very least, end this half tied up. And again, this map is of the utmost importance for Blinn to make the Challengers final, that 18 bracket, try and qualify for Ascension. They need to win this map. They need to win this game 2-0, and they've really gotten ahead of themselves, playing like they've already won this. And that's been their undoing on some of these rounds, throwing things away needlessly and DB exploiting every little mistake.
They have some leeway here. For Blinn, you know, their composition feels almost more attacker-sided. But for DB, I feel like it gets scarier because we haven't seen too much come through from Drone in the util yet, which, you know, I'm curious as to when we do switch those sides, how is that going to work out? The last-second change is made for Blinn, looking to make some sort of execution up towards 8 and find early information.
Zachary actually going to have an operator in his hands. Blinn are going to go for another aggro play, and there's a showstopper early from Okeanos.
No.
Wow, counter ult.
Somehow does get out alive. Oh, though applying that ultimate a little bit too soon. They're not watching the angles, but it doesn't matter. Everybody's in the same spot trying to find that spike and running away in time. I'm surprised they didn't cover the other angle of A to try to fight this off, but Monsi doesn't care. And now Thrash making its way over, chasing the legs of Precision. He's just running.
Precision, run.
One enemy remaining.
Just unloaded the 1v4. I mean, this round, once again, we are back to silly maxing. Just every Blinn player pushed all the way to... Oh no, poor Precision. Just, this is so ridiculous.
After getting chased, now has to fight a war. Scariest day of their lives. Stuck in a 1v4. But they could fight this off. They know somebody's there. The flash making it difficult to take in the fight immediately. So Mike is able to take that advancement. 6-6 half
Switching sides.
that we're closing out on.
I don't even know what to say about that last round. This was a really weird half. Blinn need to lock in right now. They should be in the lead in this game, frankly. They've really allowed DB to make a close affair of this, and it just simply shouldn't have been. They've got a real opportunity to win this map now, and I'm excited to see what this deadlock is going to be doing on the defensive side.
I think there's more potential for it to work on this side. I think Dobros probably were planning for this moment, but for Blinn, more comfort kind of relying on Okeanos and having them play for whatever. Teague not having the hottest game here. So maybe this might make some changes there. Pop flash already out when they hear the noise. Blinn knows somebody's pushing up, so they can react to this pretty nicely.
Now all the way over to the long blue, working up. Teague knows the flank is coming. Good molly. Want to at least get the trade. Yano's caught by that shorty. It's going to be a 3v4 now as the wingman plants the spike, and Blinn want to get forward positions. They want to fight spawn, maybe catch Riku off guard.
And shot down. They're playing the partnership. And I like this because it's like they hold each other's hands. They make sure there's refract potential on the side of Blinn because they know player advantage is not theirs. Now, it's pretty even playing field. The only difference being that Zachary, pulling out at least some sort of article of util. And taking down almost immediately. Tons of players not able to fight for themselves, and Mike is having a great day and some great aim to take this in for Blinn.
Very crucial pistol round picked up. Love that recovery in the 3v4. When they're down on men, they go for a proactive play. That little pair fighting spawn together was really nice here. Monsi finding that kill onto Riku. Then they just fall back, play together in sight. Crossfire set up for the hookah drop. Zach went a little bit too early from Octagon. Punished for it. Nicely done from Blinn to get the lead back after the Bros were on a bit of a run in that first half.
Knife deployed.
It's a great way to start off. And there's no buy from DB, so you can see they're not feeling too threatened at the moment, just letting things decide their own fate. At this point, keeping themselves very, very connected.
Like just holding the walk down. One of the two players with the ghosts, while the rest of them have rifles in hand. And any little kill he can get, work towards, just garnering more ult orbs. The orbital strike is of massive importance on Bind. You can just lock down a round, win out in a post plant with the orbital strike molly combo so easily.
Ooh, Monsi creates a huge opening. The timing didn't even stay down. Instead, Riku gets caught out as they try to make the peak moving forward, and it could just end off on a rough route for Dobros, and just playing hide and seek. I wouldn't really want to peek an angle either with a classic in hand. Could try to right click and find potential, but heads already sought out. Does not take any chances here. Maybe. Ooh.
Lace finds the one on Mike, but ultimately won't matter. The 3 rifles, the guns of importance, are in the hands of those surviving Blinn players towards short. Bullets raining in towards Ange, who's just going to think better of it, doesn't want to give an orb to any of those players on Blinn, just gonna run in, go down to the spike, and prepare for that next buy round.
I'm surprised, didn't Teague and Mike have Vandals? They kind of just threw that out. There were no Vandals left on the floor for Ange to pick up. Maybe so. But performance-wise for Blinn could end short with the new round coming in and settling in for itself, but it's not going to be easy going against a team that has so much resolve.
Sound sensor up.
Monster's been able to collect a lot of ult orbs early on, so the Thrash is already active in the crucial round. This is their bonus. Despite that, they've got 5 rifles because of the 3 saved from that previous. Thrash could clear up all of Octagon here, all the way through into Elbow, at the very least force precision totally off. Here it comes while the rest of the Blinn players trying to flood out of hookah.
Yeah, and the lineup already hitting down backside. No, they didn't get anybody. But they do get sight, and that's got to be the most important thing right now for them to account for, is trying to gather information on the extremities where these players could be hiding. But nobody's watching the flank. Not that it matters. Could keep some sort of occupancy over towards B. Suppression ready in 2 seconds, so that's where the information's going to have to come from here. Paint shell already locked in down inside of tunnel, but Monsi information given away, finally finding themselves at least 2 here, but can't push themselves up. Blinn are fighting for the site to be theirs. And how easy is it going to be to keep it now, especially with multiple players running in, but taken down in seconds? A loss for the Dobros here.
Great post-plant positioning. I really like that high-low setup with a mic on top of the box while Okeanos was playing in the corner. Blinn just holding those angles so aggressively for each other. Monty got a nice little thrash timing towards elbow as well. It didn't get any of the players actually stunned up, but its presence alone just made it so that Dobro's retake attempt with 3 coming from A and 2 from elbow was totally disconnected. The timing was off because the guys on elbow couldn't get in. They were distracted by the thrash. Blinn break the economy. And are, for their sake, finally off to a strong lead to win this incredibly important map.
No matter what, even if they have to go down OT, triple OT, like you said, important map. They will take the time just to qualify. They've taken their time so far, and with time comes money and shots that are fired to keep themselves up economy-wise. And yeah, Okeanos is looking for blood here. Shot down and hunted. So, the slow.
That was a good grab, that. What, that hit like 4 people or 3 people? I mean, that was pretty well timed, but, you know, sadly, irrelevant. But nice try from Drone, nonetheless. That's going to force the second timeout, I believe, out of Dobros late into this half, late into the game, as they're about to be on a very important buy round.
Monty's spitting facts right now into the ears of everyone else. Dude, Teague is still at least having 14 assists. Which at the end of the day is kind of crazy. But Initiator,
Pretty
out
crazy.
of the way.
He's got that Discord kitten stat line. Those 14 assists, you know what I mean? he's doing his job. He was going crazy on map 1.
Gosh.
Now it's a Mike just going insane on the Brimstone.
Yeah.
Cryo cells type Brim activity.
Cryo cells. He's got... Man. At least at this point, they know they're in Dobros' head with this timeout. So I think it's just like, you'd think that, like, okay, 10-6, they should not be too stressed out. Like, they're obviously doing something right. They won 4 rounds in a row, but it's a stressful moment. Like, even after a timeout, it has that level of unsurety. And then moving forward, like you said, most important game of the whole entire series. They lose this one, it pretty much, it doesn't matter for Blinn. Like, they need to have this be a perfect game.
They need this map win. It gets them right into the Challengers finals, the attempt to make Ascension. Zachary picks up that operator, but again, unfortunately for him, similarly to Sunset, just gambling on the wrong angles. No one towards him on A. All the pressure from Blinn to Octagon.
Oh, but it's beautiful. The deadlock util works so well, but they just don't play off of it enough. And they just go down 3 from Mike. And the Brimstone, for some reason, is, I mean, this is like Brim's home field, I feel like.
Oh, it definitely is. Unfortunately for Precision there, was just caught on the perimeter of that grav net. You know, born to walk, forced to crouch, just stuck in the corner. You hate to see it. Goes down from his own teammate's utility. And Zach now forced to save this operator, at the very least for Dobros. They'll have those 2 weapons into the next round.
They are chilling with that up. They're like, you know what, if we're going 11-6, let's at least keep the one thing that can reel us back in. Although it has to be like pretty accurate for Zachary and aggressive to take that initial shot, because Mike has been on task with the smokes and allowing these players to come in, especially Monty and Teague with those flashes. Teague in specific.
Absolutely. Let's see where Zach posts up now. Unfortunately, his fortunes have not been too good when he's picking these early round op angles. Was only really able to get 1 opening pick on Sunset. This time may have an opportunity with Blinn playing that spread default.
patience is crazy, but I thought it would work for Okeanos.
Didn't even notice that he picked up the operator, holding these angles on the attacking side. And there have been some rounds where Dobros have gotten pretty active, contact pushing. There was that previous where they walked down short, so trying to expose that.
Bind deadlock. Util just getting drained. Honestly, the bullet's just gone.
You did good.
But it doesn't matter. Headshots can speak for themselves. The B site, 3 players still residing there, but Spaz in a good position to pick some sort of fight, maybe isolate a player out of the way, especially here. Position making some jiggle peeks, and now information given to itself if the timing is right. Yeah, so be it. Now finally pushing back, making it even harder for this team. The Util's pretty on spot, especially now with 28 seconds left, keeping them held back with Monty making a distraction. But the TP's still there, and the A site's still preoccupied. Majority of the players down, and they can move in on the B and still feel comfortable for Blim.
Side is being taken with these. Do Dobros actually risk this? I mean, maybe try to find an opening duel that they could win.
One enemy remaining.
Gonna be difficult to win anything at this point. Zachary now having to retake with the off, and then still saving that maybe for the next round, because it doesn't seem like they're gonna try to push themselves in. Nope, they completely commit to the fight. Leave Okeanos taking this 12-6, the match point for Blaine to finally end the struggle.
And this should be wraps for Dobros. Economy is in a pretty dire state. They're going to bring in what they can on this final round. Drone has the annihilation, so maybe could find a crucial pick. Hasn't been able to do so yet in this game. Has fired off 2 of them. Both misses, 0 for 2.
Yeah.
And look at the state of the rest of their ults. Any orb picked up would get 1 active.
Shutting them down.
Do they... I mean, I don't know. I think Drone poses a threat, especially with the ultimate. Now it doesn't matter. They've taken off 2 straight off the rip of the game. And the only thing Precision can do, yeah, Seeker's already loaded up because they did manage to get the orb. So at this point, DB could possibly utilize some of their ultimates to give themselves an advantage, but it's like a 1 in 200 chance.
Seeker's going to get a bit of information. 3 versus 5. Drone needs to connect with this annihilation.
Oh, and they use it. They don't catch anybody out just yet. Actually, they do. Slowly eliminating these players. DB, they pull it back. Slowly but surely. Teague's still alive, but Monty's down as well. 1v2, and Spaz doesn't have anything else to play with. They need to use the util. They need to win the fight left up to it. But now, with that being said, can't seem to find anybody else. And it's Spaz that keeps the Zippo clutch in place.
That was a nasty little clutch. Blinn have done it. They've secured themselves a spot in the Challengers Finals playoffs, an opportunity to try and get into the top 2. They can qualify for the Ascension Tournament in Monterey later this year, try and make it into the partnership. They cleaned things up nicely. It was a bit messy at the beginning. I think that they were letting, you know, maybe the emotions of the moment where they felt like they already win, kind of got ahead of themselves, threw away a couple rounds they shouldn't, but overall, they played well. They made it happen. They dominated on the first map. Blinn looked really good today.
Yeah, Dryad, they look spectacular. What's up?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, they look clean. It's like Wyatt was saying, it was first half that was a little back and forth between the two, but even then, even when it was the back and forth rounds, you always saw the control that Blinn had over Dobros. They were controlling the game, they were controlling the pace, and eventually that was the ultimate reason why they were able to close out this series, to make sure that they make it to playoffs or challengers, and make sure that we continue to see the growth of this team of Blinn. This is their last week, this is their last match, week number 6, and this is what I've been asking for a lot of the teams. I wanted to see a convincing win. I wanted to see a win that let us know, yeah, we're gonna dominate, we look good, and we look good for playoffs, and Blinn did exactly that, Wyatt.
Absolutely. Excited to see what this team can do in the playoffs. They've really stepped up, you know, making it through that partnership, or rather the promotion relegation tournament, get into stage 2, go on a tear, prove that they're one of the better teams that we've got in Challengers. And now for them, it's really just about how much they can punch up. The top half of this scene is it's just riddled with good teams, right? So definitely a lot of challenges ahead of them. But I think that they can, rise to the challenges. I think that they have the potential to get some upset wins against teams that we would definitely favor.
And that's a question, right, Gumpers? Because we want to see these teams right now, like Blend, they're kind of the mid-table. They got some couple good wins, like they did with everybody that was not Dark Zero and TSM. But now they're in this position where it's like, how far up can you go?
Man, for Blinn, pretty far. I don't know. Like, this team always pulls out with surprises day by day, and they just keep getting stronger and stronger, to be honest. I feel like they're really getting used to Okeanos, and everyone really is starting to feel themselves out, especially composition-wise. Like, we're not seeing anything too strange. We're not seeing anything out of the ordinary, but it also works out in a way where everybody just plays so well together. Like, in assists, you normally wouldn't think they do matter a lot. They genuinely do, and you can see the amount of effort and work that the initiators are putting in just to allow everybody else to thrive.
You can see the support, you can see the kills, and you can also see the wins for Blinn. Now it is time for your post-match interview after this 2-0 for Blinn. And this time around, I'm joined by Okeanos to talk about, well, first of all, I want to talk about the whole time that you've joined the team, and we've seen the growth that the team has had, not only in other tournaments, but especially in Challengers. So when you're reflecting back on joining this team and going back to the scene, getting the chance to see you again, what do you make of this whole process with Blinn?
It's been like a really big underdog story, not just for me, but like for all of Blinn in general. Last year, like nobody really knew like who Blinn was, like who was on the team. And then like we decided like this year it would be like all we had to do is put our heads down and just work. And I think it's like showing and proving off, right? We're playing consistently. We're beating who we should be beating to, and like shoot, like our hard work is just paying off.
Yeah, it really is. We see the results, and like I was saying, we were seeing these wins. Now, the only losses that you took throughout the season was TSM and Dark Zero. They're pretty good teams. They've been getting some consistent wins. So looking back as well on Challengers and all the teams that have made those improvements, where do you see yourself when we get closer to playoffs?
I think we're still that team that we can literally lose to ourselves, or we can literally beat like every team, right? And like there's just some days where like we feel disconnected, or some days we're like extremely connected. I think we're like a team that shouldn't be underestimated, shouldn't be looked down upon, because I feel like we can literally just beat everyone, but at the same time we can lose ourselves.
And for that as well, when it came to the match for today against Dobros, this is a Dobros that has been struggling. So a lot of teams that we've heard, a lot of players, when they talk about going against these teams that are struggling the most, they kind of have these different perspectives of let's take any team that they can beat us, or let's just run our game plan, let's make sure that it's going to be a clean 2-0 as we're expecting. So what were your expectations for this match against Dobros?
Game, we know that we're fundamentally better than them. We beat them once already in the relegation playoffs, so like nothing new. We just today, like we knew we just had to play like how we usually do, how we do in practice, and like we knew we would just get the job done.
And my last question for you, individually, when you're playing these duelist roles, when you're playing the race, and you're seeing the current meta where people are running different things, what is your take on the meta, and what is your take on your own performance? Because it's honestly, it's amazing to have you back playing the scene and having really, really good games.
Today was like one of those days where like I literally just had to run out, like, and my teammates just traded me and ran out. There are times where I had to get kills, but like me shooting wasn't like today. I think I'd rate my performance like a 6. Like I don't think I played well. I just created space for my team. I'm running around on neon, hands out, guys whiffing all of his deagle shots on me. So just stuff like that. I would say I'm pretty selfless when it comes to that. So my job is just to go in and Like if I get the space, I get the space. If I get the kill, it's even better.
Yeah, sometimes you get the space and the kill, so that's kind of what we can expect for Okeanos for sure. This is everything that I have for this interview, though. Okeanos, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on this win, the last win of the regular season. And with that, we're going to move into our second match of the day. Just a reminder, that match that is going to happen very soon between Winthrop and Core is going to happen on the Knights Arena broadcast. But here, just after this break, we're going to have Moy Shopify going against M80.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Player standing. One enemy remaining. Long. One enemy remaining. Spike. 10 seconds. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
They say in life, there are no guarantees. They say a lot of stuff like that. Slow it down. Play it safe. Hedge your bets. So what? You gonna listen to that? You gonna stop because they can't guarantee you'll pull this off? No guarantee you'll win? No guarantee everything's gonna be fine? In life, you make your own guarantees. Nobody else will light your way. Start your own fire and keep it burning. And we guarantee you'll have one hell of a lifetime.